I've been in the video business for over 40 years. Wow. That's a long time. I'm the old guy in video. And before that, about 10 years in the young adult area, I was doing, almost 20 different jobs to pull me through to find out what I really wanted to do in life. And video took over. And it's still here. The creativity is something you don't lose and you don't want to lose, and you want to keep it going. So here's my story. I'm here to show you what I learned in the 80s and 90s in a form that was fairly simple, but everything was still being developed. I mean, we were in the age of transformation from analog to digital, things like that. I mean, we had actors and actresses that would come in and do a performance on camera and actually enjoy what they were doing and say, like, why can't I be that way behind the camera? I don't want to be in front. I mean, I'm talking to you right here. But I wanted to be where I was really creative behind the scenes. I can shoot, I can edit, and when I edit, I realize what I shot, like, wow, the lighting should have been a little bit more this way. Or the audio sounds like it's a little bit too far away. I need to adjust that. Things like that, you learn on the job. But you can also be taught and showed the way so you can learn it without having to make too many mistakes. Because sometimes mistakes can be costly. And they'll teach you that too, anywhere you go. So my area of expertise is what I learned, and it's all about video production. I'm here to show you what I learned in the 80s and 90s and bringing it today and transforming it to that and showing you how much that applies to today, as well as both generations of that. What I'm going to show you on the screen right here is something that I'm not trying to drop names, but this just happened. I didn't get this, as in I wanted to go out and find this, but as I'm working in the industry, this comes up. You work with these kind of people. That's the best thing you can think about. I mean, it's like you're talking to people that you've seen on TV nationwide, internationally, and it's kind of flattering, you know? It's like, gosh, they picked me to come to shoot this part for them. And then here's some of the shows I've shot for. Now, my first national television show was totally hidden video. And it was in the booth I was, hiding through a two-way mirror or a one-way mirror, whichever. I never could figure this out because how do you say it? But I can see out, but they really couldn't see in. It was like a mirror for them. So, but after that, it led to Candid Camera. They came back and they wanted me because I have experience in doing the totally hidden video portion, and they wanted me to come do that too. I did other pilots, and pilots are like demos that studios put together to show the networks to see if they could be, if it's valuable enough to be picked up and to be brought in as a series, and maybe even a multi-yearly series. So they can make 4 years of it, and they can do the rerun thing. Everything has changed now with that. You still want the series, and you still want the multi-year contracts, but everything now with streaming and different cable networks, it's not the same as just the broadcasters. Back in the day, ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, Public Broadcasting Service, and a few independents. That's all they had in the 60s and 70s. And when the 80s came in, then you started seeing more and more cable networks coming up. Now, some of the 70s, I think the late 70s, when HBO, Home Box Office, came into play. And then when that happened, it brought in other competition, but knowing that there was so much out there that they needed to fill the niches of all of the time, all the different types of genres of productions, of content, of categories, all this stuff, and actors even. See, with more and more streaming services coming out and cable companies coming out, it gives the opportunity that these people want original programming. Oh, in that case, we need to start getting more and more productions to get started up and give us more shows so we can review them. But a lot of times they can't afford it. These are upcoming and startup companies. So they don't have the budgets as Hollywood. So you're not going to see the money of $1 million an episode, okay? Which is fine. I'll take $100,000 an episode. But even less than that. But shows can be done for less than that because nowadays all the cameras have come down in size and in price. Editing has done wonders when it went to non-linear, meaning computerized. Okay, so no more tape to tape and dubs and stuff like that. That also brings down the generation of the quality for the dubs. So everything is developing in the right direction. Now it's tweaking itself along the way because it needs to be adjusted for today's times. Okay, because a lot of times you look at this and you say, well, there's so much going on that how do we know which one's right, which one's wrong? And that's what we're going to be getting into too in the upcoming shows, because there is a lot of things that are right, but there's also a few things that are wrong. So I've watched a lot of YouTube channels and a lot of stories about how to do the best you can on YouTube. I don't claim to know a lot about the YouTube analytics and all this kind of stuff about what needs to be done and what, you know, the way things are pulled in and adjusted and AI looked at things and stuff like that too. I don't know a lot about the YouTube strategies. We're living in a world now that more and more availability, streaming services are out there that need content, and they don't want to keep buying the old or using the old public domain stuff. And I've seen that many times. It's the old 70s and 80s things. They want new stuff, okay? But with the new stuff comes production. And all these new systems out there, they're going to start weeding them out and start getting to the top 15 to 20, I'm sure. But even so, they need their original programming. And that's where we all come in. So you're listening to me saying that you might be interested in developing something for YouTube. It can start there. Don't lose the thought that just you're doing it for YouTube and that's where it's going to stay. You never know who else might see it and then say, I want that show. This guy's already got 5 or 6 episodes. I think I'm going to go ahead and call him up. I'm going to make contact with him and see if we can't make an agreement that he can make so many episodes for us in our streaming service. Now, wouldn't you like to get that call? I would love to hear a lot of stories about that. When you get a call saying like, I saw your videos, I like them, I'd like to purchase these videos and also have you under contract to do about maybe 20 more. Could you do that for me? And then we can, we'll talk price on that too on the next visit. And then you go out and you buy a bottle of wine and champagne, whatever else, and you get all your friends together. But regardless, it's out there. And it's not going to be easy, but you just got to put in a little bit of time, a little bit of work, make it look good. If you're going to make your YouTube's videos to where, oh, it'll get by, well, they're going to see that you're just getting by. Okay? I like to do a little bit more, step up the game a little bit, you know. If it means all these cuts and stuff too, that's fine. But I know what's going on and I know what needs to be done. But I would make it look a little bit more smoother and make it more enjoyable to the vision of the viewer. And so that's what I'm talking about now. If you can do great videos with the right content. Now, production is good. You need production. I'm not telling you don't worry about the production side of things. It'll all fall into place. No, it needs to be in good shape. Okay? You just have to worry about, make sure the content is right, be consistent, and keep that content going for its longevity to make sure that people can know that what they expect. but the production needs to be a little bit upgraded and then just the normal consumer style type of stuff. Now, I know I talk a lot about this, so I'm going to let you know this, that content is king. Content that needs to be consistent is king. Production is right up there with it, but the content means almost everything. Okay? And they say that when you're doing the YouTube thing, you make sure that your title and your thumbnail coincides and is a grabber. Well, the same type of grabber you're doing with YouTube, you want to do that with the streamers and the services and networks and other things like that, because you need to hook them too. Okay? So I got some more ideas and thoughts on that. I want you to sleep on that if you can. Contact me below if you can, and if you have any questions, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see what I can do on getting the right answer for you. But we're going to be getting more into equipment and also how to handle the talent. Good luck. We'll see you next week.